A performance review arrives in your inbox, causing your stomach to knot before you read the first line. A friend offers a blunt comment at dinner, and your mind starts preparing a defense before you can answer. This rush occurs because feedback threatens two essential needs: learning and the need to be accepted. When these needs collide, attention shifts away from gaining insight and towards self-protection and quick rebuttals. The cost is more than just one awkward conversation. Learning slows, and relationships accumulate small resentments. At work, the same pattern turns reviews and surveys into stress rituals that rarely change daily behaviour. Imagine someone leaving a meeting, replaying every phrase, and drafting a reply instead of exploring the intended meaning. Later, the same person avoids follow-up because it feels safer to keep distance than risk another collision. In this video, you will learn practical ways to extract useful insight from feedback, even when it feels wrong. This video draws ideas from Thanks for the Feedback by Douglas Stone and Sheila Heen. Subscribe to make criticism usable at work. Feedback can hit a wall when a trigger is pulled, causing the reaction to overshadow the message. 3 primary triggers often cause the most damage: truth triggers, relationship triggers, and identity triggers. Truth triggers, which focus on accuracy and fairness, make the mind scrutinize for errors, often dismissing the entire comment. Relationship triggers, centered on the giver, cause tone and history to overshadow the content of what was said. Miriam hears that she was aloof at a family event and instantly argues about what was expected of her. Her reaction shows how a truth trigger transforms the moment into a courtroom, blocking curiosity. Identity triggers feel like a verdict on who someone is, making even small notes feel like a collapse. When identity is shaken, it becomes difficult to distinguish facts from fear and to stay present. Notice which trigger appeared first and name it silently before responding to the next sentence. Then choose one learning question that keeps the door open, even if the feedback might be incorrect. Not all feedback serves the same purpose, and confusion arises when the purpose remains unspoken. 3 categories matter. Appreciation builds motivation, coaching builds skill, and evaluation sets a ranking. When evaluation is loud, it can drown out encouragement, making every suggestion feel like judgment. Without appreciation, people can work hard and still feel invisible, even during good performance. 2 twins hear the same batting tips from their father. One feels help, and the other feels criticised. That contrast shows how the same words can land as coaching or as evaluation depending on the listener. When the purpose is named, the receiver can ask for the kind of input that fits the moment. When the purpose remains vague, both sides talk past each other and leave with frustration instead of clarity. Start by asking what kind of feedback is most useful right now and what decision is actually on the table. Then request one clear form: appreciation, coaching, or evaluation, and check that the giver agrees. Most people screen feedback by looking for what is wrong, which keeps understanding shallow. A better approach is to shift toward asking for more details until the meaning becomes clear enough to judge fairly. To truly understand, explore the giver's data and interpretation while keeping your own view beside it. Spotting differences replaces blame, as 2 people can see the same event through different assumptions. When Kip is told his interviews seem biased, he first rejects it because he believes he values non-traditional paths. Once he asks for specifics, he learns what behaviours were noticed and how his style changes across candidates. Blind spots make this harder because self-perception often misses patterns that outsiders see quickly. Using a friend for a second opinion can reveal whether feedback's truly wrong or just unfamiliar. Ask for one concrete behaviour that gets in the way and listen for patterns across situations and people. If these tools help, subscribe to get weekly drills that turn defensive moments into clear questions and better choices. Identity triggers distort feedback, as the mind turns one comment into a story about the whole self. Temperament and wiring shape how long the emotional swing lasts and how quickly balance returns. Distortions enlarge future consequences, making one mistake seem forever and one critique everything. Seeing feedback at its actual size means separating feelings, stories, and the specific claims being made. A manager hearing "be on your game" spirals into memories of past mistakes and sleepless worry. That pattern shows how the story, not the sentence, can become the real source of suffering. A growth identity treats feedback as information about where someone stands now, not a final label. With that mindset, Challenges become faster routes to learning because failure is data, not shame. Practice naming what is factual, what is interpretation, and what is fear before deciding what to change. Choose one coaching takeaway to test next week and give yourself a second score for how you stayed engaged. Action matters because insight without practice leaves the same habits running in the next conversation. Getting started begins by narrowing your focus, making change feel possible instead of overwhelming. Name one thing means choosing a single behaviour to work on, not 10 vague aspirations at once. Small experiments reduce risk because trying a new approach briefly teaches more than endless debate. A non-profit leader hears her introduction is too long and resists until she finally tests a shorter opening. That experiment teaches that the status quo has an advantage and change feels threatening even when things look fine. Change often follows a J-curve where performance and mood dip before improving, so quitting early creates false evidence. Coaching your coach means discussing what helps you learn and what gets lost, not silently guarding someone for a season. Invite them in by asking for help and sharing what is hard because that creates connection and better mirrors. Try one low-cost experiment this week and write what you learned so progress becomes visible under pressure. Feedback systems falter when people demand perfection from either the process or the people. No system suits every temperament, and uneven execution can lead to a cycle of low effort and low trust. Leaders can openly explain trade-offs instead of just selling benefits, preventing teams from splitting into factions. They can also separate appreciation, coaching, and evaluation, ensuring each has a clear home and timing. Organizations thrive when they share learning stories, showing that success often comes from asking questions and adjusting quickly. Growth identities are reinforced when reactions to setbacks become discussable and when second chances are openly discussed. Multi-track feedback keeps learning alive through informal coaching, honest mirrors, and peer conversations that occur between reviews. Positive social norming reduces nagging by showing that many people follow through and that follow-through is valued. Start small by making one feedback conversation safer and clearer, then repeat until it becomes a normal practice. For more guidance on building pull and learning cultures, subscribe to receive real examples and tools for developing these skills further.